question for everyone. What is a car that absolutely, this is from Kennan's side piece, by the way.
Sorry, Emily.
Question for everyone. What is a car that absolutely deserves the hate, and what are some cars that are under-hated, that should be hated more?
Most McLarens?
The Pontiac Aztek should not be hated.
Should be hated more.
I think
Should
that
not
car
be hated.
Have become beloved in a
I
weird
do
way,
appreciate that it has. Thank you to Autopian for helping do that.
Well, and Brad Wood, for honest.
Yeah. And Doug with that review.
And Doug.
What are other cars? People hate the PT Cruiser. Do we think that's over or underhated?
It's simultaneously underhated and overhated.
Yeah, it's ironic.
If you hate it, I don't agree with that you're hating it too much. If you're ambivalent about it, you might not hate it enough.
What about Tesla? Everybody likes to hate Tesla these days. What do we think about that?
An interesting thing. Since things have changed politically and Elon Musk has become a little more involved, I've seen a lot of, I bought this car before Elon was
Everybody has
crazy
one of those
sticker.
bumper stickers in California now.
It's like you knew.
I've seen hundreds of those bumper stickers. Nick put one on his Bentley.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, well, that's Nicky.
You know what? You know what car I think is overhated? Two of them are right here in the office.
A Prius.
The 04 Prius, I think, is overhated. It was a tremendous car.
Why does anybody hate that car?
It is a tremendous car. It was great in so many ways.
I think that regular people love it.
I'll tell you why. It was because it was thrust upon us as this.
Thrust upon us by what? A company trying to sell cars? What do you
Every
want?
celebrity in Hollywood had one to virtue signal that they cared.
You must buy this car? No, of course not.
Every celebrity had one to virtue signal, and went and in doing. But then they went and drove around in their Bentleys instead. That car was taken. It was shoved down.
By who? How? Why?
Everybody.
No, I agree. Hollywood made a thing of it.
Right. Okay. It was just seen as a weak, little car, and and people hated it, and
it
was an
looked
easy
like
car
enthusiasm was going to die out.
Exactly. It was the
However,
things to come.
20 years later, we know that's not true. Car enthusiasm is flourishing, and that car is such an amazing practical car that you can get for $6,000 as long as you can keep the catalytic converter in it.
Right. Yeah, you might want to lock that one up.
If you live in San Francisco, good luck to you.
I disagree with literally everything you've said about the Prius, except for the fact that it is, regardless of how much you hate it too much.
I don't hate it personally.
I like it, love it.
It was a great car for the people. You know,
Actually,
one of the things that annoys me about car enthusiasts is that they hate on cars that they're not even intended for. You know, I taught my parents into a Lexus RX. Car enthusiasts hate that car. Fine, but my parents aren't car. It's not who it's for, and it's actually a great car for a lot of people. And that's true of the Prius. Plus, you can camp in them.
What's the second car? The
Juke.
Oh, the Juke.
No. The Nissan Juke was hated so greatly. In fact, it was hated. This is one time where people screwed, and this has happened a few times where people have been so hateful that they screwed over themselves.
Yeah.
They hated the Juke. The Juke's the stupidest, ugliest, idiotic, stupid, hideous, ridiculous car.
Interesting.
And then you know what Nissan did after that? They came out with boring trash because they were so put off by the fact that everybody hated their cool design. They were like, fine, we're going to give you the kicks. Pull up a picture of the kicks.
Don't. Spare us all.
Look, trash.
They didn't.
Boring, bad trash.
They overcorrected.
Interesting.
They overcorrected, but it is a heinous car that looks like a bug that needs to be squashed.
It's cool.
It's
both
hideous.
Of those things, the second part of what you said is true about how it looks. The second part, it's not hideous as a result.
It's offensive.
The interior is, but
and it's built like absolute garbage.
True.
It is a terrible car.
Wow, Kenan is not
I'm a hater. I've hated it since it came out. I hate it now. And I will hate it forever.
This is what happens. People hate on cars like the Aztek, like the Juke, where an automaker takes a risk, and then the automaker says, okay, fine, everybody hates our risk. We're going to go back to making square box boring crap.
Well, no,
and then they do. And that's how you end up with the Nissan Kicks. And by the way, drive around. There's Rogues everywhere. There's Kicks everywhere. You ruined us. You ruined our lives.
Nah,
there were
they made the R35 at the same time. Like, they could have gone down a different path. They also had Infiniti to draw from. Infiniti made great looking cars throughout that period of time. Do something more like that. Don't just because
it was cheap. Cheap cars should be weird. You're not trying to make cheap cars beautiful. There is no such thing as a beautiful cheap car. It has never happened.
No such thing as a beautiful cheap car. No such thing as a beautiful cheap car. There's so many beautiful cheap cars.
Name two.
The Fiat Panda.
That is one.
Okay, well,
but it's not beautiful. Like that's the thing.
Any of the Fords from the Aston Martin look great.
But those cars, those cars are more expensive. The Juke is an entry-level little subcompact thing that was trying to mobilize like 23-year-olds in their first job, and they wanted it to be cool and quirky and cute, like the Cube, honestly. And then people complain and complain, and so what Nissan ends up doing is giving us the Sentra and the Kicks and the Rogue Sport. The Rogue Sport is one of the great bad things foisted upon human beings.
But a pretty good looking car.
It is terrible.
But it's a pretty good looking car.
It is horrible.
But it's a pretty good looking car.
You get my point. Cars, you want to know overhated cars? Anything that was trying to be cool and weird that people hated into oblivion and then we got replaced with boring stuff. Those cars are overhated.
The Fiat Multipla redesign.
Fiat Multipla.
The redesign,
Fiat
that's a
Multipla is
good
the
point.
best example of all time.
Quirky, people say they don't like it, though they buy it, and then you have boring.
And then you get the redesign, which screwed up everything about the original that we love, that platypus mofa.
Yep.
If you've been watching my videos for a long time, you'll remember I used to take my cars to CarMax to see what they'd offer me as a trade-in value. These videos were fun and popular as they would often give me a wildly inaccurate number for the cars. Submit your cool car to Cars and Bids in just a few minutes, and you'll be connected with an auction manager from my team who will help your car go live on Cars and Bids, where you'll get way more money for your car than trading it in to a big box dealer. Look at how much these cars sold for on Cars and Bids compared to their trade-in value. Here's a trade-in offer, and this is the Cars and Bids result. Here's a trade-in value and the Cars and Bids result. And this was a trade-in value, and this was the Cars and Bids result. Get started now and sell your car on carsandbids.com.